I'm Megan, and welcome back to another Top 10. Today, Martin and I are going to be discussing the top 10 photography tips that you need when you're first starting out. Jumping right into it, term number one that you need to know is aperture. The aperture is the opening on the lens that controls how much light comes into the lens.
Hey guys, it's Martin. So tip number two is shutter. The shutter speed at which your lens stays open is going to determine the amount of light that comes in there and how long it's going to go through your lens. So
term number three, ISO. ISO is the sensitivity at which your sensor receives the light.
Term number four is exposure. Now exposure is a combination of the three things that we just talked about: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. When you combine all those three things, you're combining them to make an exposure. So the proper exposure in a picture is determined by those three things.
Term number five, white balance. White balance determines the temperature of your image, and it can dictate true white.
Term number six is prime lens. So prime lens has a fixed focal length. What that means is that you can no longer zoom in and out like you can with the telephoto lens. You actually physically have to walk closer or further away from your subject. However, these lenses tend to be a little bit sharper and are better for low light situations.
Term number seven is telephoto lens. This type of lens is the kind that you can actually adjust the focal length.
Term number eight, fill light. So fill light is any source of light that's going to help fill in those shadows. It could be in the form of a softbox, a reflector, or even just a white piece of paper. But that's just going to fill in the shadows everywhere you go. And so when people talk about fill light, that's exactly what they're talking about.
Term number nine is bokeh, or it can be pronounced bokeh. I've heard that is the correct pronunciation, so we're just going to go with that for now, is bokeh. Bokeh is simply means haze or blur, so when you're dealing with the depth of field, it's the blur in the background.
So our last term that we want to cover is the rule of thirds. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about the rule of thirds, and basically the way to see this is if you look at your composition of the picture you're going to take, you're going to make 3 lines down, 3 lines across, and it's going to make a box of 9. When you look at that box, where the intersecting lines are in that box, that's where you want to typically compose or put the main subject of the picture. And that's called the rule of thirds, and it's a very common rule to follow. It is not a set in stone rule, and there's definitely times when you can break that rule, but it is a very good way to kind of look at how to use that space. Well guys, that's it. Those are 10 terms that all beginning photographers should know. We're going to be making a couple of different videos. Some will be tips, some will be reviews of gear, sometimes we'll be talking about different things to do with photographers and all those things. We may talk to models, we may talk to people in different fields, and just anything you guys want to know about photography. We're all about it. We eat it, live it, we shoot every day, and that's what we do. So take care, and we'll see you. Subscribe down here, like us over there, whatever you want to do. It's all good.